Hey guys, how's it going? This will be a little tutorial video today. I have a new set of sights for this Glock pistol here, Gen 5 Glock 19. This is just a set of blacked out irons because this dot's eventually going to have a gun on it. So we're going to get rid of the kind of garbage stock sights, get something a little bit taller. That way we can get that lower 1/3 co-witness or whatnot in the dot. And for those of you that are kind of watching this video because you're not sure if you want to have a gunsmith do the work or someone else, I would encourage you to, just get your own sight pusher and do it yourself unless you're really worried about it, because the price you're going to pay to have somebody install your sights, for just a little bit more money, you can get a sight pusher and you can do it yourself. And if you have a couple pistols or you have buddies or whatever, you're probably going to end up using this thing quite a bit anyway, and you're going to get your money's worth. So we'll get right into it. So the first thing I want to touch on is just the tools that we're going to need today. This is just a little sight pusher I got. It's I think it's like Vism is the brand. I want to say this thing was, I don't know, 150 bucks or somewhere in that price range. I don't remember exactly, but I really like this sight pusher because it does front and rear dovetail sights. The reason they're kind of different, if you can see in here, this is kind of more of just like a solid block, and then the front dovetail has this small little ridge that you can kind of see in there. And that makes a big difference, especially if you have like a SIG or other types of pistols that actually have a front dovetailing like the Glock. It's going to be pretty useful. And there's a lot of like garbage ones you can buy on the internet, and I've just noticed they don't work as well. This thing's works pretty good for the price. And then the only other thing you need is one of these little Glock front sight tools. I think I got this on Amazon for like $5. And last thing, these are the sights we ended up going with, just Ameriglow. I kind of feel like whether you're going Trijicon, Ameriglow, night fishing, all the different companies, I've had good luck with Ameriglow. They're not like overly expensive, and they seem to be pretty durable. So that's what we're going to go with. So first things first, anytime obviously you're working on any of your firearms, you always want to make sure that your weapon's safe. Go ahead and make sure this gun's clear, break it down. For this, you're going to want to break down your pistol and obviously remove your recoil spring barrel. Just have the exposed slide here. First thing we're going to do on the inside of the slide, when you look inside there, there's a little screw head right there. It's kind of like a hex shape. That's where we're going to come in with our front sight tool, and just go ahead and loosen this guy up like this. So that just pops right out. And then the front sight is right in there. I'm just going to use the end of a little screwdriver, kind of push it out. Now that front sight is going to be out. In my opinion, these are pretty much garbage. So depending on if the front sight in that kit came with one or not, you might need to save the screw, but I'm pretty sure it came with a screw. So we can discard that. But yeah, we'll have that empty hole there. We'll get the sight out of the package. You go ahead and install that next. So we got our new front sight post, a little bit taller one, and then off there's the stock screw that it came with in the package. You can see there's a little bit of dab of Loctite on there. Probably not a bad idea depending on if the sight you ordered has it or not. This is pretty simple. You can just go ahead and set the sight in, and you can see on the inside here is the hole for the screw. This part can be just a little tricky, just getting it get the screw lined up in there, and then obviously you can start to screw it down from there. With the Glock pistols, the front sight really only has one position for it to be, but I've noticed sometimes that like there can be a teeny bit of play in the kind of the screw itself. So you just want to make sure that your front sight post is obviously straight. Sometimes you can kind of just tweak it with your finger, make sure everything looks good. And I just go hand tight with this. You don't need to mash on it too much. And then the next thing we're going to do is the rear sight. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and take out our rear sight. We're going to get just our height set. I kind of already adjusted it a little bit, but you just got to take a look at it, make sure everything's in the right spot. Go ahead and move move the slide into there. There's going to be some adjustments on the side here. This is going to help secure the slide from the side. Make sure it doesn't move around any more than it's supposed to. Just keep it as secure as possible. I just like to get those nice and snug. You don't have to go too crazy with it. And then there's also a knob on the top here that I'm going to move down, and that's going to secure the pistol. Important things to remember for this is you need to make sure that the height of the side edges of this are not higher than the top of where the rear sight is. If you accidentally go too low and you don't pay attention, you go to move your rear sight off, you can actually end up damaging the sides of your pistol, kind of like mar them up or whatnot. So I like to just eyeball that, make sure everything's good, and then you can go ahead and start to move the sight off. All right, so we got our rear sight now here. So we're just going to go ahead and move this in, and you just have to kind of start the first little bit like that on into the track for the sight. Then you can start moving this over. Important thing to note, I don't know how much it actually matters, but I try to do it each time. I think there's kind of like a way to remove the rear sight as far as the direction you go. I always go out to the left first, and then obviously come back into the right side, depending on your pistol and the manufacturer. You might want to look up and see if there's kind of like a designated direction, especially if it's something like a 1911 where it's a little bit more tighter tolerances or more of a specific way that they do it. But you can go ahead and move the sight in and just try and get it close, and then a lot of times I'll remove the rear or the slide completely and check the sight for proper alignment. All right, so we went and got that rear sight installed. Just important thing to note, if you look at this rear sight, you can tell that the rear area right here is actually a smaller window than this front edge. So that's just important to make sure you have the small end on the back, because that's the way the sights are supposed to be oriented. I don't get super crazy about the measurement on this. I like to kind of just eyeball it. I'm obviously going to take this to the range with my sight pusher and actually confirm that the sights are where I need them to be. And if I do need to adjust them, I'm going to adjust them at the range. If you want to, I'm trying to think of what it's called, but you can get like a measuring tool to actually check the exact space in between each side of these. And then you can go ahead and make sure you match it on both sides. But I think if you're going to shoot it either way, it probably doesn't matter. And yeah, I think it came out pretty good. Got both the sights on. We'll go ahead and line the pistol, put the pistol back together, and just check our work, make sure everything looks good. All right, all in all, I think the job probably didn't even take 10 minutes to do all the work. But we got the sights all lined up. Just blacked out sights. I think my buddy's planning on putting a red dot on this pistol, so these irons should make great backup sights. But yeah, I'd encourage you guys to give it a shot. As you saw, it's super easy, super quick to do. And like I said, if anything's not fitting correctly, you can always, or not lining up correctly, go to the range, check your zero, and just make small adjustments with the sight pusher accordingly. But if you liked the video, guys, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.